Hello and welcome to another live stream where we're sharing a cockpit, this time with Jerry, who's a real Airbus A320 pilot. So we're going from the Bahamas, Nassau, to Jamaica tonight in their United livery, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we're super excited because not only are we going to be doing this, we're also going to have two perspectives from this flight if it works and it goes to plan. So we'll have Jerry's perspective within the flight deck, which is the first officer position, and you'll also have my my sort of POV sort of thing, point of view. So Jerry, do you want to just say hello to everybody before we go through who's on board in terms of our Patreon members?
Absolutely, yeah. Very good evening all. It's great to be back. Missing for the last few days. I believe Dan went solo without me. However, we let him at it. I did check up. He's doing well. But very good evening. Good to be back.
Well, I survived the landing anyway, so it's always a success when you survive the landing. But before we carry on and get into the flight deck, let's go and see who's on board. So for those that might not be aware yet, I have Patreon, so it's pretty new to Fly UK and the streaming thing, but it gives you a few privileges, and one of the privileges are that you get mentioned at the start of each simulator live stream, that is. So we've got actually 4 Patreon members now, and it's like I say, it's only just been released this week, so or last week should I say, and I'm really pleased with that. So thanks ever so much for everybody who has signed up to Patreon so far. So in economy, we have nobody, so this is the lowest tier. This is the lowest tier, but it's by far no means not appreciated. It's a really good entry level to support the account. So it starts from £2.50, but that will be in your local currency. So if it's euros, then it will be converted to your local currency, and if it's in dollars, it will also be converted. So nobody in economy class, but they get behind the scenes sort of posts as well within Patreon. So on business, we have Livenish UK, the aviation guy, and Matthew is on board on the business class. So thank you ever so much for those supporters and Patreon members. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Mr. Mickey over on Mr. Mickey 80 over on YouTube, and hi Matthew, you're actually live on the YouTube side. Thanks so much. So there are business class members, and they get the benefit of some subscriber only streams once a month, and some, like say, behind the sort of scenes, etc. And of course the mention as you can see over on the live streams, simulator live streams. Okay, let's go and have a look who we have in first class. So in first class we have Christian. He's all on his own at the moment. It's limited to 12 seats in first class, so once they're gone. It is the top tier, so it's that works out £10 per month. But that is the top tier. It's limited to 12, and for that, you get everything that the business class have. You get obviously your own static first class mention page before a simulator live stream, but on top of that, you get a 30-minute Q&A once a month with myself and guests, privately for those first class passengers. So yeah, anyway, let's get going because we might as well get in the flight deck and let's start the flight. So I'm super excited. I'm sure Jerry is too to be doing this flight. So, okay, so let's jump in.
There we go. I'm in. I've got all the walk around done for you while you're chatting to the passengers.
Well, we're in the Airbus, aren't we? The Airbus A320.
We are indeed.
This is the Neo version. Can Jerry, because obviously you fly these for real, can you tell me what the difference is between the Neo and the standard Airbus?
Well, basically, when you're looking, if I was to put one thing that's fairly important, you're looking at fuel economy. And that's what the whole concept of bringing on new aircraft. There's various different things regards of Neo, the new engine option. And what I can tell you is there's a great saving from you take benchmark two flights, same flights from A to B with the 2 different aircraft, and you're going to have a fuel saving on the Neo.
Oh wow! So it's all about fuel then. I mean, and was that sort of, was the Max brought out to compete with the Neo? Is that how it sort of happened with the bigger engines? Because that had bigger engines when it come in.
Yeah, it seemed to be. So now I can't be 100% sure on this, but the timings of the aircraft that's being brought out and what it was aimed to do within the market seemed to match exactly what the Neo was put out there for as well. Yeah. So one would assume that it's a competitor out there now.
And I suppose that's how the market goes. One manufacturer, starts to do something, and it's a bit like F1 really, with when they sort of put the spoilers and in a certain configuration, then obviously the other competitors think, oh, that's a great idea to get ground force and all the rest of it. Yeah, so it makes sense. So shall well, I want to try this new feature out anyway. And so what I'm going to do is basically, for those that sort of can see this now, Jerry is in the first officer seat, so he's in the right hand side. So you should now see the Jerry cam. So it's like Jerry can, but Jerry cam.
There we go. There we go. So there we go. Look over at Dan. Dan's not there. Hey.
I'm missing. But so this is Jerry's perspective. So we're in the cockpit together. We're in the flight deck. Hi, Irish John, 25. How you doing? Farnborough Flyer. Not entirely to compete against each other, more to meet customer requirements. Richard said over on TikTok. So and that's a fair point. I suppose it is.
I actually think the what he's mentioned there versus you could actually marry those two together, and customer requirements plus fuel economy and so on. You can marry those 2 points together very well.
Yeah. Okay, so let's switch back over to my view, and I'm going to start powering up the aircraft. So let me just make sure that there's enough. There's things on the outside of the aircraft ready, and all the rest of it. So we get the baggage, the catering, the door aft out there. So we'll see and have a look at that all going to life. Look at this. How cool is that?
This is good.
So the baggage handlers are going in. The catering truck is there. Great quality production, Dan. Farnborough Flyer has said. Oh, thanks. Well, we're trying this sort of new. It's a bit of a brainstorming session. Me and Jerry come up with. Where wouldn't it be cool to have like different perspectives, with the flight, and obviously there are challenges with that, with streams being slightly sort of delayed. Hi, John Hamilton over on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining the stream again.
John, how you doing?
So we've got the baggage sort of being supported now. We've got the external power ready, and we have got the stairs that are being placed in the wrong place. Oh my word, what's going on? I think he must be untrained. Oh no, okay, he realised his mistake, and now it's lined up with the door, so we're all right. We're all right. Okay, so let's get started. Let's power the aircraft up. So external power, batteries, APU. Wait a few seconds. Bring the start on. Crew oxygen supply. ADR RS is on. And testing. Oh, we don't want to do that. The fire. And I don't know how true this is, Jerry, but apparently things that are labelled red with caps on are there for a reason, and it means it's an irreversible thing. So basically, anything with a cap on like this means it can't be reverted back. Is that strictly true?
Yeah,
or is
that's fair. That's fairly true. All right.
Okay.
You look up at anything there that has red on it, anything that has. There's some also with guarded switches, but anything with red is a one-way operation. So the procedures of most of the airlines, according to Airbus, will be if you need to activate that switch, you will point to it. You'll confirm it with the other pilot. This is the button we want to press. Yes. Okay, go ahead and press it. So you both really have to. It's belts and braces because this is a one-way action.
Because it's sort of. It makes sense, really. So it's the gear. Yeah, even the gear extension. The manual gear extension. That's also red. Look. So, which obviously indicates that.
But it's not a guarded switch.
It's not a guarded switch. Okay. Right,
no, it is reversible.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So it is reversible. You can bring the gear back up manually, can you?
Well, you won't bring it back up if you have the hydraulics. Let's say the issue resolved itself and the hydraulics is all back to work. You could actually restow that and then bring it back into its original configuration.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, Jerry, I'm just wondering if we sort of bring the jerry can back, so on your side.
Sure.
And just wait for it to sort of catch up a little bit. But why don't you set up the box for us and show everybody? So at the moment, at the moment, so you're live then, Jerry. So if you want to set up the box for us, that would be great.
Okay, so we'll have a quick look at the aircraft status. So we'll check it's within day 30 December, 26th of January. So that's all pretty good. I've noticed, Dan, all you have to do is actually go to the init page and just hit init request. You don't have to do much else.
Okay.
And it all comes in, okay? So, but obviously for the sake of weight and balance and all that, we must have a quick look at all the other details, just make sure they're okay, okay?
Yeah.
So I will just go to the init. That's all brought in. That looks good. We don't even have to get the init data request because it's all in there at this moment in time.
Okay.
So let's have a look at the weight and balance, just to be sure. I think there was only 140 something on today. So what was the final? 147. So I'll get those started. You have the stairs out there, don't you?
So I have the stairs, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get the passengers going, and we'll let those tick along. So kicking off, we have the route, and it has self-loaded in there. I'll have a look at the departure now in a moment. Rad navs, we'll get to those in a moment. Progress, GPS, primary, nav accuracy is high, and I'll fill in the runway in a moment. Standard thrust reduction there of 1510, 1510, and 15. We'll get and you'll do the performance later on. So regardless of where we're at, if you I'd say if we just leave that for 5 minutes, I'll go off and get some weather, and I'll set up the charts.
Okay, so I will go switch back to my cam and have a look at the box and see what you've done in a bit more closer detail.
Sure.
Fantastic. So the flight plan's in. The performance we can't do until the fuel's boarded, so actually I'll do that. So I'll load up the flight plan into the iPad. Hey NCK, how you doing over on YouTube? So let's get the. Okay, that's loaded in fine. Okay, so this is the flight plan, and so the fuel required. So we've got 700 kilos extra of fuel. So 6.1. So we'll call it 6.2 of fuel, and we'll load that in now.
I'll just get some weather in the box there, Dan, if that's okay.
That's fine. And we'll get that loaded in.
Sure. So Nassau and Jamaica on the way. Looks like a fine day out there anyway, so.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, did you mention that there possibly might be a little bit of rain once we hit Jamaica?
Well, when I checked the actual real weather, it did look like there was a possibility of a little bit of rain towards the destination later on. However, we'll see what happens. Okay,
all right. So, are you setting up the runways at the moment? Or is
I was just looking at this. Yeah, I'm waiting for the weather to come through. I'm sitting here going, which will I get next? Which is going to come true first? Let's see, did the weather come true first? If it did,
it's great.
Received. There we go. It did come true.
John Hamilton's sort of being a great mod for us there. So Jerry is an A320 pilot, and Dan is a private pilot. That's great. So I've got my private pilot's license. Hopefully, if my first class medical comes back at the end of the month, I'll be training as an airline pilot as of next month.
I think we're going to start getting away from that word hopefully down now, all right? It's all going to happen, my man. It's going to happen.
Okay, it's going to happen. I just like, you know, I don't want to jinx it at all, you know. So
not jinxing anything. Positive thoughts. That's it.
Positive thoughts. Okay. Glass half full and all that.
Always.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I just have to go in and look at the weather in the box. It's not quite coming up on the printed paper.
Okay, so just looking at the fuel that we're boarding at the moment, we've got 5.2 tons at the minute. We've put in 6.2 tons, so that's still boarding. when that's done, when the passengers are in, then Matthew, one of our business class Patreon members, said it's going to happen over on YouTube. Thanks so much, Matthew.
Good man.
Appreciate that.
Good man.
Yeah.
There you go. Even your patrons are telling you.
I know, it's crazy. Blimey. So, what airline, Jerry, may I ask? So, Irish John, just prefer not to disclose that in a public setting, but just he works for an airline, he works for an airline. One of the things that he kindly sort of gave me before the stream today was, you might have seen the latest video where it's the Airbus A320 real life cockpit. Well, that was Jerry's footage, so he kindly provided that for me. Yeah, thanks Irish John. I hope you glad you appreciate that. Are you using an add-on? The PC screen on the side must be an extra. So this is something called Fly-by-Wire A320NX, and it's a freeware thing. It's community driven, and it's basically sort of continually developed. It's being developed all the time, and with this sort of add-on, it allows you sort of more realistic sort of control surfaces, more realistic sort of feel of the aircraft. I mean, Jerry will be able to vouch for this more than what I can, because he flies the Airbus A320 for real. So I mean, Jerry, how's it compare, sort of with the real thing so far? I mean, I know it's not perfect, is it, by any stretch?
No, it's not perfect, and it never will be. But however, what I've ever seen in all my years of flight simming, which we're talking about from the first Microsoft Flight Sims right up till now, I have never come across an add-on like this in Microsoft Flight Simulator that represents a plane so well as the Airbus 320. Okay, it really is up there. Now, there's a lot of work to be done, but you got to understand, there's actually real pilots. I think I last my count was about 20 to 25 of them, who are working constantly on the back of this, and I mean down to performance levels. They're getting into the engineering books just to bring it into the simulator, into the add-on for you to play. And I think and it's all done for free. They're just doing it for the love of it. So it's the closest that I can see at this moment in time, and it's the only one I use. So that's another way of looking at it.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the Thrustmaster control units that we both have, me and Jerry have, again, they're not perfect, but I wouldn't do without them now, and I think Jerry's in the same sort of opinion
completely.
of that,
Absolutely, completely.
So Matthew, business class Patreon member, said, do you use Navaid's add-on for charts? I thought I saw you using it on the Birmingham to Edinburgh flight. So yeah, I use Navigraph, which is essentially an add-on, and it does cost per month, or you can pay for a yearly subscription. So I'm just going to log in now and get that activated over on the sim. But
what I would say about the subscription that you pay for this on a monthly basis, it's probably the cheapest monthly subscription of anything that you would pay for high quality stuff. So I would certainly promote this because it keeps the charts up to date. Now, it does say it's not for real world navigation, but let me just say I haven't seen a difference between a real chart and the chart every time they update the database. It's really bang on,
And I think you've got to realise that they've got to say that.
Yes, of course,
they do that to cover themselves, don't they? So let me just create that route. And because we're doing a shared flight deck, it means I have to manually put this route in. If I was normally doing this, actually, I think this is the wrong way around. Is this the wrong way around? Hold on. So,
no, that's okay.
That's the right way. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So if I was manually, if I was only flying on my own, I could load this in directly from something called SimBrief, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
Would you mind backing up so we can see your screen setup? So this is actually used in a stream key, so I can't back up. It's actually streamed directly from my PC to TikTok, and so I'm not actually filming the screen here. Yeah, so
that's impressive.
Yeah, it would, and to be honest, before I had the stream key, then I was doing that, and it worked. It did work fine, but the only problem is that I was struggling to get that full screen view. It was portrait mode, so yeah. It was it's a lot better now. We've got stream keys, and it's going to all the other platforms as well. Okay, so the ADR RSs are in. We've got 6.2 tons of fuel, and let's have a look at our passengers to see how they're doing.
Just to pick up a quick one there from Irish John, a nice, important question there. Is it ever too late to take up a private lessons to become a commercial pilot? Well, let's just say, John, I've seen people, one particular guy that I know started at the age of 46, and he qualified as a commercial pilot at the age of 48 and got his first job in an airline then. So he still has another 12 years, to go. So I would say it's never too late.
And and I think, the point of it, the point of this is that, I've had recently somebody say on TikTok, I don't think he meant any malice in it, but he sort of put a comment and said that, I think you looking at your age, to me, I think the best that you're going to achieve is X, But the problem is that, some people don't mean anything by it. They're just being genuine and and heartfelt sometimes. But those knockbacks will come from many people. From different. And I think you've just got to do it for yourself. So if you want to go and learn to fly, go and do it. If you have less years than a 20-year-old doing it, so what? You're doing what you've always wanted to enjoy doing, and you're basically doing something for yourself. You're life's too short to not do what you want to do, and if you can do it, just go for it. That's what I've I'm saying this because I've told myself that over Christmas, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make that brave step to do that. So
absolutely.
Thanks, John, for pushing that as well. Appreciate John Hamilton saying it's also being streamed on YT as well. Thanks so much for that. Horsepower 092, cool. I love your videos. Well, thanks so much. Honestly, I couldn't ask any more of everybody that supported the channel. So the reason we're not moving, by the way, is we're waiting for. Okay, passengers are boarded. So let me just quickly do the weight and balance on that now. So so the zero fuel weight center of gravity is 24.8. So if I just have a look on this side here, and 24.8. I think it's about, would you say that? One up? Would you say? Something like that?
About then, yeah.
Okay, so we can go into the performance. Actually, we're going to the ints, page 2, zero fuel weight.
There you go.
And 6.2 for the block. And if we go to the performance, we can then do 1 and slash 1 up. And we can then do the V1, VR, and V2. Okay, so that's all in there now. And we go to what would you call this page? In terms of bringing you distance and heading, Jerry.
Progress page.
Progress page. So, is it Mike Yankee?
I'll tell you now. Okay. We're going to use the northerly runway for departure due to the wind, so it's going to be. Oh God, where's it?
Sorry, just the ICA code. For
it's Mike Yankee November, and use runway 32.
And runway 32. Okay, so that's. I think that's already in, isn't it? 32, and then there's no
SID for departure. There's going to be climbing straight ahead to 6,000 feet, and then vectors from there on in.
Okay, so flight plan discontinuity, we'll get rid of that. Yeah.
We can hold on to that for the moment because you'll be just giving a direct now to probably Henry or a little bit further on down.
Okie dokie. All right. So that's all that's set up now. Let's.
Do you need a briefing or the passengers?
If you want to brief us, Jerry, that'd be great.
Okay, Dan, I'm just looking at the charts here, basically the taxi chart, and it's very basic here for this airport today. Once we look at the airport info. Let me call it up there. So we're parked on stand ramp 11. We're expecting, once we get pushed back out, we're going to taxi down along November all the way down to the long runway, runway 32. Once we get on the runway, we can check the flex step by 80, call 100 V1 and rotate on the engine and flight instruments. Call any failure affecting safety. In event of a failure before V1, you're going to call stop or go. In the event of a stop, you close the thrust levers and select max reverse. I'll call spoilers, reverse green, decel 100 knots to 70 knots, and I'll call ATC, and we'll take no further actions till the aircraft has come to a stop, reverses are cancelled, and the parking brake is set. In the event of a failure at or after V1 or if you call go, you continue to take off. I'll raise the landing gears as normal, and I'll silence all warnings. And once we're stabilised, climbing away in a straight, we consider ECAM actions and be alert for any other failures. So the departure today is straight off runway 32, climb to altitude of 6,000 feet, and radar vectors onwards then. So other than that, I can't think of anything else. No threats, weather is good, and if you have anything to add to the brief, I'd be glad to hear it.
No, that's everything. I'm happy with the briefing. Thank you, Jerry.
Yep.
I mean, usually that would be my job, but I'm I'm having a bit of a memory block at the moment.
Did you speak to the passengers and welcome them on board, Dan? Did you?
Yeah, well, I suppose I could do that, couldn't I?
I think you should. I think you should.
Okay, all right. So okay, so you have to put a mic really close to your mouth with this, don't you? I've noticed.
You do.
So, yeah. Okay. So okay, from the flight deck, this is your captain, Dan. We've got Jerry as first officer this evening. So we are departing very shortly, and we don't expect any delays. The weather is good over in Jamaica, so I'm sure you'll have a great time there. If there are any sort of requests that you need from the cabin crew, then please make sure you ask them, and enjoy the flight. And yeah, good morning or good evening or whatever. Anyway, so I think I need to work on that one.
Hey, that takes time.
Certainly not scripted just yet. So okay, let's get going, I think, and we can. So let me just get the checklists, and we can. I just put a few buttons, few switches on the overhead panel there for you, Dan. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's no problem. There we go. All done.
All done. Thank you. All right. So before start, checklist.
Yep.
Okay. So cockpit prep
is complete.
EFS switches.
They're on.
Gear pins and covers
removed.
Signs
on, auto and armed.
And fuel and block.
ADRs is checked. The fuel is 6.2 as the block, and checked and balanced.
Okay, barrow reference
is 29906, set once, twice, and 3 times.
Okay, and below the line, mobile phone and iPad
is off airplane mode.
Okay, takeoff data
is now set full length for runway 32 with 30, 31, 35, and toga.
Okay, and windows and doors
are closed and armed.
Okay. ATC transponder
is trust levers ATC transponder is auto.
Parking brake
is set, pressures checked.
Okay, and beacon.
And the beacon is going on.
Okay, so we'll call the pushback.
Sure.
Truck.
This is ground. Stand by.
So John Boy 93 is where are you flying to? So we're flying to Jamaica from Nassau, so in the Bahamas. So we should have some really nice views.
Hope we have nice weather, have pints when we get there.
Yes. As long as we're not flying tomorrow.
No, day off tomorrow.
Okay, so we're just waiting for that.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed, and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake
So the
set.
due departure
Lifting
time
aircraft.
is we're just 5 minutes late. That's okay.
Okay, perfect.
It's an Irish half 8 you're allowed. You're allowed that 5 minutes.
Standing by for pushback.
Okay, so which direction are we pushing back in?
We're going to be pushing back tail to the right.
Tail to the right, okay. Parking brake off.
Off.
And
Set parking brakes.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
okay, pushing back.
Okay, 6 minutes late. We'll put it down to passenger boarding.
Okay, so tail to sorry.
Tail going right.
Tail going to the right.
A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency.
You got the jerry cam on there, yeah?
4 in the middle.
I've got the jerry cam. Yeah.
Hey, jerry cam. So let me have a little look around. Okay, let's have a look out around the
Please
nose.
be aware that your
I have to say
nearest
this
exit
track
may be
IR is
behind you.
absolutely superb.
In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is
I'm just going to
fastened.
switch back to my cam just for
Sure, yeah.
And
so we
released
can see the
as shown.
taxiways.
It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on.
You're doing very well there now. I'd say just
at all times.
you could nearly
The
stop
air
it
supply
anywhere there.
fails, Masks will
Okay.
drop from above you. Pull a mask
gonna
towards you
bring
to
it
start
round.
the oxygen.
A
Put the
bit more.
mask over your nose and mouth.
Okay.
Hold in place
Pushback
with the
completed.
strap.
Please set your parking brake.
Pull on each
Parking brake
side
set.
to adjust.
3, 2, 1.
And set.
Put on your
Parking
own
brake
mask
set.
before helping others.
Parking brake set. Lowering
If you land
aircraft.
on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head.
Ground.
Pass
You
the
may
tapes
disconnect.
around your waist.
Okay, sir. Clear.
Funky Duck is in the house.
Hey.
Hello there, sir. How are you keeping?
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Is he on your side or mine?
I don't know. He's all over the place.
Needs topping up. Blow into the tube. There is a
Okay,
light
so,
and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids. for
After
children.
starts, sorry, no, we need to start. Sorry. So engine, engine start switch.
Yeah,
And
I got it.
seatbelt.
Engine 2.
We
Two.
wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
What a beautiful day out there.
Let's have a look outside while we're waiting for that.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on the engines.
Okay, as soon as it's available, we can then.
Yeah, just for the sake of the cam and the track IR, can you put on the jerry cam there and I'll just talk through the
Yeah.
starting of the other engine.
Okay, so yeah, so there's a 5-second delay. So and also don't forget your voice will be slightly delayed to your visuals, if that makes sense. By
Yeah,
5 seconds,
yeah.
So, yeah.
So tell me when you want to start the engine.
Okay, it's. Do you want to start? It's on your cam now.
And there we go. Engines one started. So if we look closely in at November at the N2, we can actually see on the left hand side the numbers spooling up. The way the engine starts is once we get to 24% on that, we're going to expect the fuel which is at 0 below it. So keep an eye on FF 0 number. So 24%. There we go. The fuel's gone in. You should hear the engine starting on the outside. And the EGT, the exhaust gas temperature, is rising. So that means something is lighting up in there. And the N1 near the top is the big blade that you can see on the engine, and that's starting to turn nicely. Going back down to the N2, when it gets to around 51%, basically the whole start process is complete, and then a couple of seconds after that the engine settles down and we've got a lit engine.
I mean, how cool is that? I mean, let me just go and take it back to my cam. So I'm in the left-hand seat. Jerry, as you can see, was in the right-hand seat with me. So let's go outside. Let's see how those engines are running. Looks fantastic. So we're in United Airlines this evening. Obviously, this evening is in the UK, but is it lunchtime in Nassau? Is it, Jerry?
That's a good question, because the Zulu time, we're so used to in Europe flying Zulu time, and Zulu time is always close to home time. So Nassau, I'm assuming is about 5 hours behind there. So 5 maybe looking at about 3:30, 20 to 4 over there.
Yeah. So we might even have a bit of a sunset into Jamaica.
I think we will actually. I think
that'd be really cool.
Okay, so do you have the start flow?
Okay, so after start, anti-ice.
No, the flow first. I'll do the.
Oh, the flow. Okay, yeah.
Flap 1 for me. You got that set.
Yeah, got that set.
And you do the engine mode select.
Engine mode select, yeah.
Switching off the APU and
APU.
the lead.
Yeah.
And that's it. We're going to go for the check.
Okay, after start checklist, engine anti-ice.
Is off.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Rudder trim.
Is 0.
Pitch trim.
It's 1 up there. You set that earlier on, and that is set once, twice, 3 times.
Okay, and flight instruments.
They were checked.
ECAM status.
Is checked.
Okay. We obviously.
That's you have to start check.
Yeah, that's the start. So yeah. Okay, so we've got the taxi lights on for taxi. We'll put that.
We don't have any ATC today, Dan, so I'll just call generally out there on the radio, and we'll taxi. Okay, United 450, taxi into hold short runway 32. So that's basically straight out, Dan, hand left, and as far down as you can go.
Okay, parking brake off, 3, 2, 1.
Off. Clear on the right.
Got some sort of vehicle there trying to challenge me on a...
Yeah.
Where are you going? We'll hold short here. Don't mind me, vehicle. What are you doing? Blimey.
Yeah, no, they're just random. They
really don't want me to go. Okay,
yeah.
So... and we're sorry, which runway are we taking off?
So we're going to take the northerly one, yes. So take a left and all the way down as far as you can. Using this TrackIR headset, I have to say, Dan, that was the best. It was the best piece of advice that you gave me, because I'm now sitting in the right seat. I'm now looking around with my hands off the controls, and it actually feels like I'm in the cockpit.
Well, Jerry Cam is now activated in 5 seconds.
Okay. So there's me just sitting on the right hand seat doing nothing, looking out there. His mom on the hi mom. There we go. And looking across at Dan with the TrackIR headset, you can actually see. Oh, it's a pity they don't actually simulate, or you could put a little icon of you or something in that seat. It'd be good. I'm sure the guys will get to it though eventually.
I mean, we are pushing the boundaries of this already, to be honest. I don't think
we are.
I think we're a first. This is a first in Flight Simulator to have 2 point of views simultaneously on a live. This is a first. So
sorry, I just want to check that box there. 1 moment. Just check the flight plan. Just time. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Continue.
Okay, continue.
So, I'll get your before takeoff stuff here 1 moment.
And for those that are watching over on TikTok, don't forget to tap that screen and share the live. You'll bring it out to a lot of people that
you can't have them missing. You can't have them missing a quality act like this.
Like I said, I do appreciate everybody that's watching the stream so far. I can see all the likes. Thank you so much. I can see the shares.
The cabin aircon is on, John. I hope he's not getting too warm down the back there. Funky Duck. Dan is the unnamed replacement as the new James Bond. How did he know?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't got blonde hair for a start. That seems to be the new theme.
Excellent. Okay, traffic. United 450 lining up for departure runway 32. So there you go, Dan. We can always set the parking brake. We just make sure we have them before takeoff.
Okay. Parking brake set.
Okay, so before takeoff, check.
Okay, before takeoff checklist, flight controls
are checked.
Briefing and nav aids.
It's confirmed and set for departure off runway 32. We're climbing straight ahead to altitude of 6,000 feet. There's no compulsory emergency turns.
Okay, flaps.
1 is planned, 1 is selected, and 1 + F is indicating.
Okay, and V speeds, flex temp.
It's 130, 131, 135. Toga is giving us just over 84%, which is sensible.
Okay. And sorry to break your flow on this, but the 84%, where'd you get that from, Jerry?
Okay, so if you actually look up and if you can zoom in on where the engines are up in the top right-hand corner, it's actually telling you you're using Toga and it's 84.4% according to all the conditions out there today.
Okay, so 84%, that's 84% of the actual power, total power of the aircraft available, is that right?
Yeah, 84% of the N1 that's going to come up on both sides. Now bear in mind, if you had an engine failure, that will be enough. So in other words, we're talking about one engine on that power. It's enough to actually get an aircraft of the weight, of the configuration that we have loaded today into the air, safely climbing away.
Okay, great. Okay, so sorry about the interruption.
Okay.
I think it's important. ATC code
is set as 1200.
Okay, ECAM memo, no blue.
It's takeoff. We just have the blue there with the cabin, but we got that verbally. Yeah.
Okay, and below the line, iPad,
stowed,
cabin,
secure,
PAX and APU.
PAX and APU is off.
Okay, and barrow reference.
That says 29960. The TCAS is on TARA.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You're clear to take off, then?
Yeah. Before takeoff. Checklist complete. All right, let's go. Parking brake off.
Parking brake is released. And we'll just keep that as a mental note of the 84% that we're only using, because we're going to get the question. We're going to get the question as to why we're not using 100%, but we'll explain that in the air.
Okay, so actually that's got rid of the check blue.
I see that.
So you can press it twice on the call button.
Okay.
And it will, thank you so much for that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Adam said this is a bit serious. Yeah, damn right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're clear to take off. Lights on, checks complete. Take off.
Okay. 50%.
Yeah.
Stable. Toga.
Okay, man Toga SRS. The auto thrust is blue. Thrust is set. Indications are normal. 100 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Okay. Climb thrust.
Climb thrust. Tell me when you want the autopilot in. I'll put it in for you.
Autopilot in now.
Oh, that guy put it in there for you.
Okay, thank you.
And auto thrust is in as well.
All right, going over to the jerry cam now.
Okay, so coming to the flaps. So let me know when you want the flaps.
Okay, flaps retracted.
Okay. Excellent. So let me have a look at the next point we're going to.
What views
Dan,
out
you're
there?
cleared direct to Rydell.
Okay. Direct to Rydell. So the aircraft should start turning left, which it is doing.
It is indeed.
Fantastic.
And the after takeoff checklist
Okay, after takeoff checklist. Landing gear,
is up,
flaps,
retracted,
packs,
on, and we are pressurizing.
APU,
Is off.
and barrel reference.
Q&H set. Once, twice, 3 times. Dan, you're cleared flight level 170.
Flight level 170.
Sorry, I should say altitude 17,000 feet. We're in the US.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Standard doesn't get set till past flight level 180. Some nice views out your side.
Look at that. Wow, the Bahamas, everybody.
That's incredible.
Matthew Allum, he's a business class Patreon member on YouTube. He said, what is the taxi limit for a large jet when you're flying? So correct me if I'm wrong, is it 10 knots usually on taxi, or I don't know whether that's the limit. Ground speed.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Airbus 320, obviously, because it's the one that we're flying. In a straight line, you wouldn't exceed 30 knots, and in a turn, you would actually bring it down to 10 knots.
Okay. Yeah, Sydney B Green has said 20 knots over on TikTok, so that's about close to. Look at these
close.
views. I can't
Isn't
believe.
that incredible?
Look at that.
I'm trying to be a good first officer and keep my head in the cockpit here.
I'm just looking around. I'm in awe of it. It's amazing.
It is beautiful.
Thanks for the likes and shares on TikTok. Thanks for obviously subscribing over on YouTube and liking the live video, because that helps push it out. There's actually 15 of you watching over on YouTube. That's a pretty good number for YouTube. Well, for me anyway. I've only got like 1,500 subscribers around about on YouTube. If you are a public subscriber, you will also get a bit of a notification pop up when you subscribe on all the streams that are going out to all the streams. So, which is really cool.
Okay, sorry Dan. Passing 10,000 feet. So the lights should. I'll put the lights in for you. Lights.
Okay, so lights. Oh, sorry, you've already retracted them. Okay, and seatbelt signs off.
Yeah, I've got those ones off as well. Seatbelt sign off. Airport, I'm going to press airport up on the FCU there. See the little selection of airport or constraints. Just press airport, APT, ARPT.
Yeah, airport over there.
Yeah, so you get the view of what airports are around you. And that's it. We're in good shape. Just in case we ever had a little emergency, you could dive into one of them,
Yeah. Well, let's go and have a look at the outside shot while we're waiting.
Yeah.
So
I'll keep an eye on what's going on here.
it's very noisy, so you won't be able to hear us on the outside much.
Wow, that looks brilliant. You can hear me while you're on the outside view, Dan, yeah?
So yeah, I'm going to basically put the jerry cam on, and so I can't really hear you much on the sort of outside view, but the jerry cam is now activated. So Jerry, I mean, feel free to sort of have a look around the cockpit and
So I'm just basically coming towards 17,000 feet, and we're going to be cleared up to 34,000 feet. So I'm just going to adjust that up. So 34,000 feet. And 340, it looks good, and that's blue. So we're going straight to Rydell. We're climbing away nicely, and one little thing I forgot to do there. There we go. They're disarmed. So looking over at Dan's side, actually looking at my own right hand side.
and do you want to have a look at? Yeah, I'll do that, Chris Davis. Yeah, I'll do that. Next time I'll give you a shout for the fly in the UFO. Thanks. Yeah, I didn't get a chance over the weekend. I was trying to sort out electric boxes. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Yeah, never mind.
So,
Nick has said hi, Jerry, and Nick has also said, Dan, I love this. I think, you know, this is a first. Like I say, the Jerry cam.
Yeah.
The Jerry cam. I mean, it's quite funny, that Jerry cam, but yeah, it sounds like Jerry can, doesn't it? But it, it's a bit of a laugh. But like I say, we got two views. I mean, I'm on the left-hand seat, Jerry's on the right-hand seat of first officer, and we've also got the other sort of views, like the outside, like this. It's absolutely incredible. We can't really hear a lot as we're leaving the Bahamas for Jamaica. So I mean, we've got sort of an estimated time of arrival there. So is that sort of 22:02 UAC? That's a bit odd, isn't it?
That looks a bit odd, doesn't it? But do you know what? I think it's right. I think it's right. I'll have a little look at it now in a moment. I'll have a little look in a moment.
It's confusing me, that's for sure.
Well, it's basically an hour from now. That wouldn't be too far out.
Yeah. Okay.
It's coming up to 21, so 22 is an hour from now. That's right. And we took off on the northerly runway, which added on an extra few track miles. So I'm saying that time is pretty much close.
Matthew said really working well and interesting information, and having Jerry there with you too. Yeah, definitely. Is the secret weapon, I think. You know, I mean. Is the safety net, that's for sure. If it all starts going wrong, then I'm just going to say your controls, Jerry.
No.
Land it, yeah?
We'll tell them the truth. I've just got the manual beside me, and I pretend that I know what's going on here, and I read through it quickly.
Oh dear! I tell you what, the views. I mean, if you want to sort of turn over to you look out your window and maybe zoom in a little bit with your scroll wheel, Jerry, just so you can get a bit more views. I'm just going to put it over to your camera now, and just so you can have a look outside the right-hand window for everybody's privilege.
And this is exactly the perspective you will get, even in the real thing.
I'm waiting for it to come alive on the stream. So there's a little bit of a lag because obviously, you know, being on Jerry's stream opposed to sort of mine. But look at those views over on Jerry's side of things. Absolutely incredible.
It's a beautiful day.
And like you say, we're just privileged to have those different viewpoints. You know, we've got the Jerry cam, and we've also got obviously my view. So back over to my side now, and looking over that sort of nose, you can really see the sort of views that you would actually in the real thing have. It's incredible. I mean, do you prefer flying at night or the day, Jerry? What's your preference?
Well, actually, I do like the night time, in fairness, and I tell you why. There's just something. It's very nice when you're up very high, especially when you're flying over areas with no light pollution from the ground. You see so much more looking straight up at stars and that kind of thing, and you would be absolutely mesmerized. You can't actually get these views from the ground with light pollution, but I do quite enjoy flying at night time. And if you're lucky, depending on how far north you are, you get to see the Aurora Borealis, which is the Northern Lights, and they are just spectacular.
Oh wow! Chris Davis said, tell me about it. I was obviously in reference to the electrics. But he said, I blew the electrics at work today charging the Tesla.
Dear.
I'm going to deny all knowledge.
So you must have the granny cable up on the high ampage. You should be getting it down low.
Well, he's been getting away with it for a few weeks now, you know. So I think he's had his fill.
Love it. Love your work. Dan, we are cleared flight level 370.
Flight level 370. It's really strange having the Mercury, when we're below 10,000 feet rather than the Q&H.
That's right.
It was,
yeah. I didn't set the standby. Sorry, I'm just looking over there. I can see I didn't set the standby to standard.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Captain.
That's all right. It's all right. It's all noted. We'll have a discussion. We'll have a discussion back at the office.
Yeah.
Depends on if you make the tea next time in the cabin.
Okay. It's all done. It's all done. Consider it done.
Oh dear. So there's 216 people watching over on TikTok. Aisha says, Aisha says, do you have any air hostess job vacancies? Nobody's replying to our questions. I'm sorry, we're just picking up on some of the questions now over on TikTok. So it depends on where you are, obviously based in the world. I mean, do you know the best sort of way to get air hostess jobs, Jerry?
There is a lot of preparation training kind of schools that they're actually linked in with airlines. So some people, I think some of the courses you have to pay for them, but when you do go and successfully graduate out of them, they actually do link you up with airlines and send you in and for interviews and prepare you for the interviews as well.
Oh, okay. So so we got sort of Canada, sort of hi from the UAE, the United Emirates. Yeah. Oh wow. Hey, South African. Oh wow. So do you know? It amazes me how much this stream sort of travels. It's crazy.
So just a quick one there before it goes off the stream. John says that we're flying north. Actually, John, if you look at the screen, we're actually heading south. But I see exactly what you're saying about which side should the sun be on. You are absolutely correct. It's in the evening. It should be on the right-hand side there because we're heading south. But very well picked up on.
Oh, blimey. I tell you, we can't get away with anything. I mean, if this is it. If this was the moon landings, in 2022, I don't think we'd get away with that. If we were trying to fake it. I know.
They pick up on everything, which it's fantastic that people are looking into that level of detail, or they're making good observations, and that's impressive. It's really good.
Well, it makes me wonder now that with that sort of level of detail, I hate to look at the sort of notes that they're picking up on my flying, when I come into land. I hope you're not being too harsh, everybody.
No.
So Northern Ireland, Jacob's from Northern Ireland. We've got Irish John, north of Madrid here, but originally from Derry in Ireland, Northern Ireland. Oh, wow. Interesting. Fantastic. So yeah, I know people in Derry, So not directly, but so love watching your videos. Very impressive, Irish John has said. Thanks so much. Hi, Alex. Welcome on board again. How you doing? So Alex has just completed her commercial training over in Spain. I don't know. Well, actually, it's probably a few months now. But yeah, I can't wait to see her progression to the airlines as well. Yes, it's going to be a fun time. In the next 2 years, the jobs for airlines is going to be manic.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Judging by what we're seeing in the media now, it's going to be picking up big time. And anybody who's going into the airlines, doesn't matter on what level, but once you're on board or working as a pilot or a cabin crew, it actually becomes a way of life. And it's a very enjoyable way of life if you're into it.
Yeah, it's December. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Not a problem. So what speed are we doing? We're doing 0.78 Mach. Mach is 0.78.
That's
so
right.
270 knots. In terms of that ground speed, though, 420 knots. So we're motoring. We are motoring.
We're doing okay. I've had a flight recently. We had such a tailwind. We're doing 592 knots.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it knocked a lot of time off the flight, and it's fuel saving.
So, do you ever, when you have quite a severe tailwind, do you have turbulence from that wind pushing you, or is it generally when you're pushing against the wind that you get the extra?
Very good, Dan. Basically, when you think of a jet stream, if I was to say approximately a 12 nautical mile tube, right, diameter on a tube. So think of that, and that's roughly what a jet stream consists of. The more that you're on the edges of that tube, the more turbulence you get. The more you're towards the center of that tube, you actually may get away with very little turbulence. So if you're going to get into a jet stream and use it as a conveyor belt, which is like the escalators you would see at the airport that you'd step on and hurry you along, that's effectively the way a jet stream works.
Gotcha. You
don't want to be going into it going the wrong way, because you'd be going nowhere very fast. So you'd always want to get into it and avoid it going when it's against you, and jump onto it when it's with you.
So this is where you essentially hope the flight planning guys have done a good job and they've got you at the right levels, etc. For the journey, I'm guessing. Yeah,
the guys in conjunction with the software, and they really know their job as well. The plans are made so accurate. I mean, we're talking about within a couple of kilos of fuel that they can calculate how much you're going to burn, and that obviously depends on getting the correct weather, putting it all together, knowing the aircraft, age of the aircraft, there's little nuances. All that data is stored in the flight planning database within the company, and they can produce flight plans that you just cannot get them any more accurate.
Oh wow, yeah. Alex has said, how many hours do you have on a single engine? So I have around 170 hours, probably a little bit more. I haven't done a count recently, but I know that you have to have 100 PIC, don't you? And 50. I can't remember what these. 150 to start at least the training, and then when you get to 200, you need at least 200 hours by the time you actually have your CPL test, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not quite sure. Right, so we're in the cruise there, Dan. May I just give you the radios and give you controls? I just need to step out to the bathroom for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just use the bathrooms. Okay, your controls and your radios.
Okay, my controls. So we might actually hear Jerry go to the loo, actually, thinking about it. So if you listen out, you might hear the plane toilet go. I know it sounds silly, but he's just literally gone to the loo. He's left me alone in the flight deck. See, there's an empty seat there. So no Jerry. So it's my controls. I mean, maybe we should have a cabin crew member in here with us to make sure that nothing goes wrong. But yeah, if you have a bit of a listen, you probably might be able to hear him.
Oh well, hello there. I'm back.
Oh, there we go. So did you hear the toilet flush, guys? Yeah, I think you might have heard it. I mean, Jerry, it must have been a number one because it was so quick, and we heard the door go. We heard it was crazy. We heard the aeroplane toilet.
Very quick.
Yeah.
I just said hello to your Patreon passengers back there. They're enjoying the flight.
Oh, were they? Okay. Yeah. So John Hamilton has said, order some refreshments from the flight attendant. United has nice cookies. Okay. Wow. Ciao Italia. So we've got some Italians in here now. John Hamilton is laughing at the toilet sort of noise as well. Are the air hostesses up for it? What I mean, up for flushing the chain. I'm guessing he means it's a family channel and all that, But
yeah.
what could you say about the crossing day, and what could you say about crossing day and night places? Jerry, over to you. I mean, I have got experience at night, but not in an airliner.
Sorry, Ked, just explain that. Give us that question again. I was just reading something.
You know, what's the difference of flying? You know, what the big difference is flying over cities at night. I suppose what they're getting at, I think, and in the day.
Well, all I can say is if you can actually see down on top of the cities, especially if it's a very clear day, it's just breathtaking. It really is stunning just to look at it. And sometimes you sit there and you think, here's us up in a metal tube flying along at 400 miles an hour like a dart, and you're looking down and so many things going on in the cities below you, and you can see it so clearly. Over time, once you get used to that view, you actually nearly could fly VF4, visual flight rules, at nighttime if you were allowed, because it just becomes like the map in your head. You know how to go, say, to your local shop, and you'd know how to actually navigate across Europe, you'd say, but just by looking at the lights on the ground. It's very impressive how much you retain.
So Aisha said, I want an air hostess job. Yeah, if you are serious about it, like Jerry said earlier on, there are sort of companies that specialise in getting air hostesses, recruited up and then have partnerships with airlines. And I imagine it's a bit like the integrated courses like at Oxford and stuff for the airline pilots. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is. Now, what I didn't actually finish when I was saying that earlier on, and my apologies over that, is that is one way into airlines. However, I do know, for instance, there'll be two major airlines in Ireland that I'm fairly familiar with. I believe one of them actually will recruit you straight in with zero experience and zero training, and they will actually put you through their whole training. And there's the other company here that they would want you to pay for your own training. So it's not just paying for your own training all the time. There's a lot of companies, once you be successful with them, they will put you through the training for you.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, I'm just picking up on some comments as well. So Jess has said, "Are you both in remote locations?" I missed 2020 as well as using ATC. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, we are in remote locations. I mean, let me put the Jerry cam on now, if that's all right with you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Jerry's perspective. So he's in the right-hand side of the cockpit, and we have got a bit of a sort of a lag between the streams because well, we are at sort of flight level 370. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, Wi-Fi is not that fast up here.
But I can sit in my seat here, Dan, and watch this. I can just sort of lean across to your side of the cockpit.
Oh my! Where's my legs? Where's my?
There you go.
Where am I?
I can just lean over and look at your stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a good perspective.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so I'm just going to take a call actually. So
sure.
I'm just going to leave you. You have control, Jerry.
I have control of my radios. I have control.
Yeah, I'll see you shortly. Maybe I might use the toilet while I'm over there, so you can have a listen out for that. So yeah. All right. See you shortly.
Okay. All right. So just a quick review as to how we are getting on there, because I haven't looked through it. So we're ticking along nicely there. And flight level 370, the fuel looks good, so we are in good shape. So landing in about 45 minutes from now. I think the weather down there at the moment, it was forecasting a little bit rain in Jamaica. However, I think that has disappeared off the forecast for now. Hey. Okay. So there you go. Any other questions that you may have, please feel free just to throw them into the chat there while we have a few moments before we get ready for our descent. And don't forget, as Dan always says, please share the old stream, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell. Once Dan goes live, you'll always get a notification, and then you're more than welcome to join us or look at it at a later date. And the Patreon, Dan is planning some really good stuff with that, and it'd be well worth great value from the first class perspective business, and it's a great way to actually support the channel. So as I said, feel free to throw any of the questions in there. I'm now just going to have a little look at. You have the jerry cam on there, but I don't think you can get some of the extra pieces that I have up here. Let me just see. Let me put up the charts, and I can just check the stream in a moment to see do you actually have it there. So we're going to be looking at in Jamaica, the approach into Jamaica. I don't actually see. No, unfortunately, we'll have to wait for Dan to come back.
I'm back now. I'm back. So sorry. I just had to use the aircraft toilet. You might have heard that on the stream. For those, I'm just going to flick back to my camera now. And,
sure.
So what did you want to have a look at chart-wise? Is it sort of?
Yeah, I'm just having a look. I have the charts now for Jamaica all programmed up, I should say, on my side. What I'm going to do is just have a quick look at the weather. So a northerly runway in Jamaica would be the correct one. Let me have a look at northerly runway. So runway 30, an RNAV approach to runway 30, or a VOR DME approach to runway 30. It's your call, Dan. You're the captain.
Okay, so we'll go with the RNAV. We can do an RNAV, can't we?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We can do VOR DME as well.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a
So
look.
I've got it on screen. I mean, if you want to sort of talk through while I've got this on screen, if you want.
Okay.
Or I could bring it on your screen. It's up to you.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I have it there. So basically, we're going to be taking radar vectors off this chart. Sorry, we're going to radar vector ourselves because we actually have no ATC. So before I actually go further into the detail on that, I want to make sure that when I put the approach into the box here, that it actually matches up with that plate, because there's no point obviously in going through that if there's a mismatch here, you know. So let me have a look. So there's the RNAV inserted, and it is, I should be looking at Avril. That's correct, and the point before Avril is Wasat, and it's absolutely correct. So looking at the plate, Dan, if you can actually show in the box. Oh, actually, I'll show in the box. It's on my side. So,
okay, I'll bring it to the zoomed box because it'll be in real time when you're talking. Then.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so looking at the plate and looking at the box at the same time, Dan, what I'd like you to do is bring the point Wasat up. Keep scrolling through till you get the point Wasat and leave that on the top line. Actually, I think it was there. There, go back. Bit more. There you go, Wasat. Okay. So if you look at the point Wasat, you actually see that point Wasat on the plate there. It's just a little bit above center on the right hand side, and you can see it there on the vertical profile, and you can see it on the horizontal profile. So we'll be starting at Wasat at 3,000 feet. We'll be going inbound on a course of 300 degrees on the compass, and we're going down to initial altitude of 2,000 feet. At Avril, we'll go down on a just over the 3-degree glide. Well, it's a 3-degree RNAV approach, I should say, all the way down to the minima. We can't go below, let me just zoom in on that and see what the number is. We can't go below 390 feet. At that point, we'll make a decision whether to continue on. If we don't see the runway, we'll actually go around. And if we have to go around, we'll push for toga. We'll bring up one stage of flap, and basically we'll fly straight ahead initially to 3,000 feet. Once we get to 3,000 feet, we make a left-hand turn, we vector you back around again. So I'll continue on, just making sure everything is set in the box, and that's it then. That's our approach.
Okay, so we're on the Jerry cam at the moment, so thanks Jerry for explaining that, and I was just showing through the charts as you were describing, and just circling everything. Hi Joshua over on YouTube, thanks for joining the stream, and thanks for those likes and shares on TikTok. They're really important to the account. Hi Jenna, how you doing? Is Jerry flying? Well, Jerry's with me. Jerry's flying with me. I do appreciate all the likes and shares over on TikTok side. John Hamilton over on over the other account says, does the A320 have no yoke? Just the joystick on the side? Yeah, it only has the side stick. as a control surface, unless there's a secret one that Jerry only knows. There's not a
no,
yoke
that's
you can
it.
pull out anywhere. Is there?
No, we don't have the spare one. No.
Okay, yeah, but it's a great question because, like you say, a lot of aeroplanes do have the yoke configuration. Even like Cessnas and PA-28s, they're all yokes. The Cirrus has side sticks. And I think, do the Diamond aircraft have side sticks as well? The Diamond?
It's one I've never flown. I don't know.
I haven't flown them. I went to. I know the Cirrus have side sort of sticks instead. Say something about autoflight. So autopilot. Jerry, do you want to explain about autopilot and when you'd engage it? You know, I mean, like there's rules. Is it a rule on the airlines that over 10,000 feet or over transition you have to have autopilot, or is it over a certain speed that you have to have autopilot engaged?
No, well, we won't talk about the rules in regards to Pacific Airline, but there is some hard rules out there. It's easy to reference those as well, okay? When we're flying anywhere between the ground and 29,000 feet, we're basically in an airspace. You can basically do what you want there. However, once you go above 29,000 feet, you now, in certain areas, especially around Europe, you enter RVSM, so it's reduced vertical separation minimum. Instruments are not as accurate on the up in the air, that high up, as they are on the ground, so you have to make sure just a few more safety elements is in there. One of the safety elements is if you're flying an RVS airspace, so above 29,000 feet, in RVS airspace, you must have an autopilot available to you, so an autopilot must be engaged. So hypothetically, if you were flying around at 37,000 feet, cruising, having your dinner, and the autopilot failed for some reason and you couldn't get re-engaged, you have to go down below RVSM airspace.
Okay. So, and we've had another interesting question. Why are you still using feet instead of meters? Surely there are systems using meters, aren't there?
Absolutely. There's a lot of the countries, especially over in Asia, they use meters. Again, it's just getting the countries to agree to a standard. You know, it's why do we have left-hand drive cars and right-hand drive cars? Can we not just all agree to drive on the left, or all agree to drive on the right? So there's an element of that going on as well.
Yeah, and it's crazy actually because talking about the left and right system for cars, there's actually sort of history around that. There is. And I think one of the theories is that why we actually have left-hand side, opposed to right-hand side, is that when you're passing, this is, I don't know how true this is, but apparently it was derived by your sword hand. So you'd want to be passing, the person on your sort of or passing on your left, so that you've got your sword hand free to battle anybody. That's one theory.
Really?
Yeah? That's one theory. Yeah, that's one theory.
Wow.
And there was a sort of a history. There was a history around America, why they took the left-hand system, why they took the right-hand system instead of the left-hand. And I have a feeling that they originally adopted the left-hand system, but then they turned to the right-hand system. And I don't know, and I can't for the life of me think there was a history piece on it. I mean, this is how useless this is, really. I mean, I've come to the punchline and I can't answer it, but the whole thing is fascinating. About why you use the left and why you use the right, but I do know the theory around the sort of left hand passing is based off your sword hand, and passing, so that you've always got your sword hand presented when you're passing.
That's interesting.
Horses, So
wow, that's interesting. Just the same again there. I just see Alex is also for Q&H. Some use hectopascals and some use inches of mercury. That's the other one that you're looking for. Absolutely right. Especially any transatlantic aircraft, we say going from Europe over to America. Europe, you start off at hectopascals, and then when you get to America, you change to inches of mercury. Yeah. So it's the Airbus. However, we do have a little trick on. I don't know whether it's simulated on this. It might be. Hold on, let me just see. Yes, it is. Okay, Dan, can you just put up the jerry cam there for a second?
Yeah, I'll put the jerry cam on.
Okay, we'll just give it a minute for it to come through.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you. So, first of all, I'm going to go up to the autopilot panel. Okay, so if we go up here, and you see a button here saying metric ALT.
And Jerry, just before, could you zoom in a little bit with your scroll mouse when you're showing, just because for the benefit
absolutely.
of TikToks,
yeah,
quite small, you see.
Let's get in here. Okay,
so Jerry's getting used to his new toy of the Track IR.
It's
fantastic.
cracking. I love it. So if we look there, there's a button here. We haven't used it much now on any of the streams, but see, it says metric altitude. See that there, Dan?
Yeah, metric altitude.
I'm going to press it. Now, when I press it, we get another reading on the PFD. And we are at 37,000 feet at this moment in time. But down in the right-hand corner, it's also saying we're at 11,280 meters. So air traffic control, say in China or something like that, could clear you to 11,000 meters. If you were to change then into another country which says we use feet instead, there might be a slight difference of 200-300 feet, and obviously you will clarify with those as to would you want us to go up or down or whatever it may be, just to get on the even numbers, if that makes sense. So it's never bang on online. However, we can use meters. The bottom line is the Airbus is very versatile, that if we're in a country that says meters as a clear level, we can select meters by putting that little button on up there on the panel. So there it is there, metric altitude. And if we want to use hectopascals or inches of mercury, we can actually select it here as well. So we can use all measurements and all units.
So I mean that's incredible that that's even modelled on the simulator.
And I'm only at the discovering that, and I said, is it really modelled?
It's incredible, and I think that it just shows the commitment that these guys have to building this simulator. And like you say, at the moment, for those that are watching over on the streams, like you are on TikTok and the other places, at the moment you've got the Jerry cam activated, and that was perfect, by the way, how you zoomed in. That gives a really nice view. So I'm going to switch over back onto my view, and that's on the left-hand side seat now. So you'll see that this is my perspective. It's just crazy that this is a first. This has got to be a first, where we're in a shared cockpit. We've got 2 points of view going. We've got the first officer and the captain point of view. This is a first for a stream. So if you're on YouTube, by the way, give it a share to your aviation fans or your aviation groups, and let's get it out there, because it would be fantastic to get some responses and feedback on whether this sort of thing works and whether they like this sort of thing. It's absolutely incredible. They should really put legs on there. Jenna said, I know we're going to have to sort of pretend that our legs are just tucked under our seat. I think that we'll just do that. I think, Hey
Dan, do you fancy a cup of tea?
I'll have a cup of tea, please.
Do me a favour, will you click the call bell there and call Trish in?
Okay, so is it all or forward or aft or merch?
They just the forward one will do.
Forward one, okay.
Yes, can I get you anything from the galley?
Yeah, is there any chance you could just bring us in 2 cups of tea, please?
No problem, that'll be 5 minutes.
Okay, see you then.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, they'll be on the way in.
That was quick. They must have been sitting on the phone there. I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on a general flight, do you have to make your own tea, or are the cabin crew pretty good,
Yeah, no, they're very good in the sense you just give them a call, and actually, do you know what? There's a rule that they will always communicate with you on a very frequent basis, and the reason for that is just to check are you okay, and you're checking are they okay, and it keeps the line of communication open, because that's what it's all about, And then within that, every time they call you, you'll always ask, do you want a cup of tea?
And if they don't like you, they leave the tea bag in for ages until there's a bit of a skin. Until there's a bit of a skin on top. Is that
no, they don't. No. They don't do things like that. No. That's a no wives' tale. That is.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They don't use all this sort of the scregs from all the passive. If you don't like the first officer or anything. No.
Actually, that's the way I like it anyway. So they do what they want.
You take it home and use it as mouthwash. I know what you like. Yeah.
Yeah. That's me.
Do you know?
Okay, so
On a side note, and this is a bit of an off-topic story.
sure.
I had a friend that it was a hotel room and sort of we're staying over.
Sure.
And he basically dropped his toothbrush down the toilet. And for me, I'd have to just go out and get a new one. I couldn't like visualise dropping the toilet in a hotel room toilet and then sort of use it afterwards. But he boiled the kettle up and boiled it and he said, "Oh, it's fine, it's been boiled or whatever." But I don't know whether. I mean, the question is to you, Jerry.
Okay.
Would you buy a new toothbrush or would you boil the kettle and brave it? Would you just
always buy a new toothbrush, never use the kettle.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't do it I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So,
No, I've heard stories, and again, they could be all just tales, But I've heard stories where people that get very creative. It's amazing what you can come up with regards of a washing machine by boiling water in certain things that are available in your room and washing things in it. So I avoid them. I don't know how. I mean, it was a story enough to scare me. I just said, "Nah, I'm not going to bother."
Oh, so a few people have said buy a new one.
Yeah.
So any live ATC in Kingston?
No, I was looking. I did. There was north up on the eastern seaboard of the USA. There was, however, not just down in the Jamaica. No.
User 8113977106215 said electric toothbrush, just replace the head. That's a good point. Yeah,
that's true.
And I think there was going off random subjects, there was like a quiz, like a quiz for fun online, that was essentially how tight are you quiz, and one of the questions was do you reuse the milk in your cereal that's left over into your tea and coffee? And I thought, oh my word, who would do that? I just can't. Jerry's going to say, I'll do that every flight. That's how I roll.
Bring it home.
Alex has said recommendations for headsets for airlines. Now, I'm pretty sure the airlines supply the headsets anyway, don't they? And you've got like nice noise cancelling headsets. I mean, I've got a Bose headset for flying privately, and one of them actually won in a competition, believe it or not. It was like £1,000 worth of headset I won there, which was crazy.
Yeah.
I've never won anything in my life, but that was one thing that I was glad of winning,
The headsets they have some very good headsets in the aircraft. However, some people do like to have their own, just sometimes to get just an earpiece with a jawbone kind of thing. However, everything that you bring into the cockpit has to be certified to be used within that aircraft, and that's very important. It's very important. You can't just go and buy any headset and plug it in. It has to be certified for that aircraft. And that certification may just come with it. Anyway, a certain brand, like I've seen the likes of David Clark and Sennheiser and all those kind of brands, they will tell you before you even buy the headset. It's pricey, but it is certified for Airbus, and that's all you need.
And actually, there's a question here: why aircraft shake cruising through deep clouds? Well, I'm taking a guess at this, Joe, and you might be able to correct me or sort of say, yeah, you're right or whatever. But obviously, clouds are sort of more dense than the air that you're flying before you fly into a cloud, because of obviously the sort of droplets and etc. And it's going to wobble the wings as you go through it. Is that basically on the right vein there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's go to the extreme. Imagine there was a big wall of water here in the sky and you hit that wall of water. It would do a lot of damage to your aircraft. Now, clouds are obviously not that dense as water, but they are water vapor. However, they're not that dense. So you do get that little bit of a push when you go through them all right. And the more dense they are, the more you feel it.
Yeah. So... John Hamilton on YT has said, I'm not familiar with Boeing's. And that's one thing, I mean, I didn't really have any preference in particular, before like a few months back. And I would, I'd be really intrigued now. I've sort of spent a bit of time in the Airbus to sort of see what the 737's all about, and I'm sure as I'm going through my ATPL training and all the rest of it, then it'll probably be really useful, or probably, naturally I'll probably have a bit of experience, hands-on experience with something like that on the static sims, etc. I don't know what do they use at SimTech? Do they use Airbus or 737s for the MCC JOC course?
Yeah, when I was down in that building a while ago, I seen they had a few. If there's a few simulators there, I think they bought one years ago, and I think that one's actually gone, or there's a new one in place. Over the last 2-3 years, I've only been down there once or twice, and I haven't really seen what they're doing or heard how they're going about it. Did we lose you, Dan? Are you there?
Sorry,
again?
no, sorry, I was concentrating. Sorry about that.
I thought we lost you. I thought I had a pilot incapacitation.
I mean, that would well, mind you, do you know what? It's probably better that way round, because you've got the hours on me, certainly. I mean, but a bit like the other day where I had to vector myself twice round to get into Edinburgh Airport. That was the result of not having the first officer on board with all that
I didn't see it, but can I ask you one question about it?
Go on, go for it.
Did you land safely?
I landed safely.
That's all that counts. Any landing you walk away from is a good landing.
Boeing is too complicated. Airbus rocks, Craig Salter has said. So
it does. But there is, if I may just interject there is a fundamental difference between Boeing and Airbus in the opposite way, in the favourable way that some pilots like. With a Boeing, you're more connected to the aircraft. You're actually physically switching on generators. You're physically switching on hydraulic pumps. In an Airbus, it's done automatic after an engine start for you.
Yeah,
some pilots just like to be stuck in,
And that's what that's what a lot of pilots do say. It is they say that the 737 is a pilot's aircraft, don't they? For that reason, because you're more connected. But like you look at the Airbus, and it's so ergonomic. They've got footrests. They've got sort of. They've got trays, it's bad. It's bad.
I've seen flights cancelled without the tray, with the tray not being
really?
used. No, I'm only joking. If you can't put the dinner down in front of you, it's no go.
Is it possible to fly having tiny cracks or holes in the aircraft's body? Well, do you know what though? I've seen a video. There's an aircraft engineer that's on TikTok actually, and one of the landing lights had broken. It shattered or sort of so they turned off they turned the fuse off. They put these red caps on the fuse board to indicate that it's not in use, and they literally put this, looked like gaffer tape, but it must have been specialist aircraft tape over the hole,
it's a silver tape.
So I was like, oh my word, this is a gaffer tape in the aircraft up. I'm going to forget about it. But it was only one of the landing lights. So they put in up on the right hand landing light, and then basically put tape over it. So it's crazy. I mean, so I suppose you can actually fly an aircraft. You can fly an aircft with a hole in it as long as it's taped up by the looks of it. But you might be able to sort of give me the serious side of that and tell me what is acceptable.
There is certain elements that you might have a small scratch, dent, maybe whatever it is. No matter what happens with, I could stand corrected with this as well from maybe somebody out there who's an engineer. They could jump in there and give us some comments on it. But there is elements once they have it cleared by Airbus and Airbus certified, that's okay for X amount of flight cycles, and they do their repair on them. And I've seen some repairs that the engineers do in aircraft, and it's like the aircraft was never damaged. If they decide not to be aircraft engineers, they'd certainly be car crash repair guys, because you just wouldn't know that there was a dent, a scratch, or a little bump. They're very good at what they do.
So we are just off the coast of Cuba at the moment. So Nick MCK wanted an update. He said, I'm in the back. Can I get an update? We're just, if you have a look at the iPad on screen, you'll see that You see some. Well, actually, do you know the rain is over Jamaica? You were right. At the original sort of thing. If you have a look at that, so we're just off the coast of Cuba.
I just want to get you some updated stuff while you're looking at that.
And while you do that, I'm just going to get an outside look, just see what we can see out there. So we're just off the coast of Cuba now. Oh, look at that. Just look at those contrails that we've got going on.
I think chemtrails or contrails.
Contrails, chemtrails, that's it.
The chemtrails.
I think that's the simulator word for it, I think. Yeah, chemtrails.
Yeah.
But you've got a switch for those in the flight. They're coming. I think you switch the chemtrails on. I think you can turn them on and off a bit like a sort of aerobatic aircraft. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the chemtrails. We're going to start so many rumours going.
Dear me. There we go.
Dear.
Oh, blimey. Can you see other planes when they are in the area if there's no ATC? Yeah, you can.
We can.
We can turn TCAS on and we can see the sort of aircraft, etc. I don't think we have any aircraft in the vicinity at the minute, so we won't see anything. But I think a couple of streams ago we had some aircraft that were coming into, was it Frankfurt or Hamburg? It was one of
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, and there was a lot of traffic. I can see Jerry. Yeah, in the front view of the outside view. How cool is that? Yeah.
Notice my shirt is cleaner than Dan's.
Yeah. I heard you got your uniform off eBay anyway.
That's right. That's it.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I used
Okay,
to fancy dress parties.
Wow, there's like 400 people watching on TikTok. Hi to everybody on TikTok. Tap that screen like you're trying to keep the aircraft afloat, you know. Tap that screen and share the live to all your aviation fans and that want to watch the live. We're actually on the way to Jamaica. So we took off from the Bahamas, from Nassau, and we're we're coming into Kingston, Jamaica when we get there. And we're 137 nautical miles out at the moment. So what actually, Jerry, while you're on the subject, when do we start our top of our descent? So we got the 3 times table going.
I'm just looking at that now.
It's looking pretty close.
It is. It's very close. So judging by what we have there, we've got to go past the airport, turn left, and come back around. So you cleared flight level 100.
Flight level what? Sorry, Jerry.
Clear flight level 100. 100.
100. I was thinking it's right on top of us. I think it was just sort of I just happened to approach that subject. So flight level 100 is in, and we are starting our descent. So
excellent.
It's great. I did notice that our cabin crew actually come in, asked us for our drink, but didn't come back in to give it our drink. So maybe I think you've annoyed her, Jerry. Actually,
I probably have.
It was that. I think you said that she wasn't allowed in the flight deck for takeoffs or something like that. You know, when she was an aviation fan.
It was the jump seat.
Must have been
jump seat thing. You know, I never gave her the jump seat when she was going on holidays. So.
Never mind.
Hey.
Well, do you know what? We'll have to get a drink once we're down in Jamaica on the beach.
That'd be nice.
We'll forget about the tea now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at the route. We're going to get the routing takes us all the way across the airport with a left-hand turn down and back in again. I think we're going to vector ourselves off to the left and save about 5 minutes.
Oh wow. Okay. Jess, so I was reading the comments. Jess has said the best podcast ever. See, we were talking about this actually today, weren't we? We were saying that it is like a podcast. It's like a podcast, but with the benefit of actually we're flying something and we're going to end up in a destination and we're bringing everybody on board. And just while we're on that note, you know, for those that actually want to support the channel further, I do have Patreon, and you might have seen if you're on the other channels like YouTube, etc., you can actually replay the stream back, and you'll see how the Patreon members get mentioned at the start of every simulator stream: economy, business, and first first class. They're all limited spaces, you know, and they all have sort of entry point level. The entry point level is 250. That'll be in your local currency, so whatever that is, really, essentially. And the main benefit all of them get is a mention on the simulator before the simulator stream, and also behind the scenes contents and the ability to vote on future live streams, etc.
Yes,
and just
absolutely.
interact. Direct messages as well, be able to ask any direct questions. But the higher memberships get a bit more privileges, but you know, however way you support the channel is, you know, I just appreciate it, and like I say, Jerry appreciates that support
Absolutely.
as well, you know, and I just I have to say that regardless of whether you sign up to Patreon or not, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on board this evening or in the morning, wherever you are in the world, because you're all over the world. It's just crazy. I just appreciate wherever you're watching, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're watching. Thank you ever so much, and I appreciate those tapping of the screen on TikTok and sharing and likes and subscriptions, of course. So so is there anything that we need to start thinking about coming into? So we got a bit of time, haven't we, on that December?
Well, I remember from one of our streams, and this is the beauty of this. The more that we do, the more we learn about the simulator, the anomalies, and that kind of thing. This is a NORNAV approach, and we were trying to do a NORNAV approach before into Innsbruck, and it caused us all kind of problems when we actually went close to the runway. It was actually throwing the information out of the box. So we need to keep a distance away, and I'll set up those vectors. In other words, we'll take, if you go on to 160 nautical miles, actually 80 nautical miles would be good now on the range.
Okay. And
On
you're
your side?
you're actually live as well on this now, so
Okay.
so they can see your screen. So make sure you zoom in on for the benefit of the TikTok users.
Okay.
That are
So
watching
let me zoom in there. So on the screen, the arrival takes us all the way around by a point called Savem, Tamap, Olad, and it's a bit of a convoluted arrival in to go downwind and back up again. We're not going to do that. We're basically going to go to the point Savem, which is just straight ahead of us. It's our next waypoint. And then from that point, we'll be picking up a heading of 140 after that. And once we get to pick up that, we'll do a right-hand turn into a point called Wasat, where we'll do our final approach and landing in Jamaica.
Fantastic. I mean, it's so nice that you're able to, you know, show from your perspective of the flight deck. I just absolutely amazes me that we've got these 2 points of views on this stream. It's got to be a first. Like I say,
I think it's a first then.
It's got to be a first, and I'm proud to have you know, have tried it on this stream, and like you say, with it being a first, you guys that are watching the stream are also involved in that first viewing of this point of view, 2 point of views on a shared cockpit platform. So switching there to my cam again, you see that I'm on the left hand side, and we can just see Jamaica peering out through the clouds there in the distance. And we've got 94 nautical miles to run now.
Yeah, well, that's what we have there in the box. It's 40, we'll say just under 60 nautical miles, but we got to go downwind a bit and back in. We're looking about 80 nautical miles, so we're below the profile. We're in good shape, and we know that there's not much high ground around, so we can see out anyway. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
we're not in IMC conditions.
I'm going to flick to the outside view just for the benefit of everybody else, but when it's on, I can't really hear much because it's quite loud, so we'll give it a go. So there we go. Absolute stunning shots there. Actually, it's a lot more quieter now we're on our descent. So
yeah, the engines are back. Yeah, that's right. So Gringo Man 948 wants to know, are you a real pilot or have any experience in flying? Dan is a real pilot, and he's also on his way to becoming a commercial pilot over time. So what we reckon, Dan, 2 years and you'll have it all wrapped up?
I set myself a 2-year goal. I mean, the plan is for me to really try and smash through these ATP hours, because as soon as I can get those out of the way, the sooner I can get the multi-engine commercial rating, the IR and the MCC out of the way as well. And apparently that side of things can be can be done within a matter of months, not like say a year. If you have the funds available. But so I really want to make sure. I really want to try and aim for a year latest to get these ATPLs out of the way. If I can do it sooner, then I will. But obviously, I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure I get decent grades or whatever. And I also want to make sure I understand the subject matter because it is going to be useful, or at least some of it's going to be useful in the real world.
Oh no, it will be. Yeah, no, you'll nail it. You'll be butter to you, no problem.
Yeah. So this. This is the same sim that you use in training? No. As far as I'm aware, the actual commercial sims don't. They use. I think they use a commercial version of X-Plane. If I'm right, Jerry.
I think so. To be honest with you, when it comes, sorry, we're gone through standard there, so we need to set the QNH.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's 1013 as far as I remember here.
Okay. Do you want to set that, Jerry, for us?
I'm trying to. It's not working.
Okay, I'll set it for you.
If you wouldn't mind that. Oh, there we go.
Oh, sorry.
I have it there.
1013, and
I believe so.
There we go.
That's it. That's good enough. Yeah. The visuals is not the important part. It's more of the procedures and the systems that's important. Landing a plane, we all like to go ahead and land a plane and take off and do all those nice things as well. However, most of the simulator training, the high 90% of it, is all about your procedures in the air, what you do when such a thing may go wrong, or that kind of stuff. The visuals is not important. However, in the world that we're living in here now tonight, we do want visuals. We want to entertain ourselves. We want to see nice scenery and so on. So different objectives. Dan, will you take up a heading there of 130?
Yeah, 130.
Matthew asked the question, have you considered talking with one of the ATC groups on VATSIM to try and arrange a full ATC coverage on a stream? The thing about it is, Matt, we do that all the time, Dan. We always look prior to the flight to see, can we actually get a full coverage? We've been fairly successful, and then there's other flights where we just had nothing.
Yeah, and I think this time of night for the UK, we usually get coverage. Pretty well coverage over the UK, don't we, Jerry? But
we do.
The problem is with the night flights is there isn't much to look at out the front window, on the night flights. I mean, it's great in some respects, but for everybody's benefit on the stream, it seems like everyone likes to have a look outside the window at the aircraft and see a little bit more.
Speaking of which, Dan, just pop up over the nose there. Sorry, you didn't mean to disturb.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Looks gorgeous.
Pop over the nose. Look at that.
Yeah, look over the nose. It's incredible. It's stunning. Sorry, I disturbed you.
And while we're on that, do you want to have a look at Jerry's cam there, and he can pop over on his side. Look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
So having a little look out, I can see more of the landscape on my side here, I suppose.
Oh, so that's the Jerry cam.
It's all very lush out there.
I mean, the clouds look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'd say that's where the bit of rain is coming in from the westerly direction. So let's see how this all works out.
Okay, so back to my cam now on the left-hand side, and like you say, it's just crazy. It's crazy that we have, right, Chuckle Chops. I'm back after my shower and have me brew. Oh, Funky Duck is back.
He is back. I thought he had a shower.
Maybe he's had 2 showers for good measure. I don't know.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It could be a new standard that we've got to all adhere to, in the UK. Hi, Aviation Fox. Welcome to the stream. So,
out of curiosity, what altitude are you passing through there?
So we're 10,800.
Okay, my one is frozen at 12.2, but it will catch up.
Okay. What I usually find is if you turn the screen on and off again, or mess around with the PFD controls, it sort of almost catches up. That's what I found. Or switch the.
Yeah, I think there's more to it than that.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, you would be cleared to. Actually, before I give you a clearance down, let me just check the sector altitude around here. Ooh, it's quite high, actually.
Funky Duck said, 1 shower, save water, shower with a friend. What's his name? Funky Duck. That's what.
That's the question.
Did my mock IRT today? Not long until test day for me now. Gringo Man 948 is it? What's both of yours favourite plane, favourite flight you did, the best view you saw? I mean, I'll answer first. My favourite plane to fly in real life is the Decathlon. It's a tailwheel aerobatic aircraft. That's the only, I sort of go in there. You feel like you strap it on like you're sort of going to wear a suit or something. It's absolutely really, really fun aircraft. I absolutely love the Concorde. It's a shame that retired when it did. I'd love to have seen that for a few more years. What about you, Jerry? What's your favourite aircraft that you've flown?
I do like the PA-28. In fairness, I know that it's probably a common enough aircraft, but there was one aircraft that I did fall in love with many years ago. It wasn't just a Cessna 152, but it was a Cessna 152 Aerobat. And that was actually certified for plus 8Gs, -6.
Yeah, and do you know what? I've done some aerobatic training in a Cessna 152 Aerobat, and blimey, it's incredible what it can do. The one thing you have to sort of watch with a Cessna 152 is managing your speed in the start of a loop or a start of a roll, because obviously the speed bleeds off and it doesn't particularly fly very well upside down, you know. So okay, so going back to, because we're getting quite close now actually, so we better probably concentrate.
Unfortunately, Dan, I'm frozen at 12,200 feet here on my side.
Oh dear. Okay. So are you completely you not moving at all, or?
No, not moving at all, no.
That's a shame. Okay.
The clock is running, everything's running. No, it did catch up the last time, so I'm just reluctant to touch it.
Okay, all right.
I'm wondering if you switch over to the jerry cam, can you see it?
Okay, so I'll go onto the jerry cam and have a look here. Can you do us a favour, Jerry? Do you want to just try and pause and unpause your game? So go to escape, Escape, go into the menu and come back in.
Okay, and resume. And yes.
Does that work?
Yes, it has worked.
Okay, well, there we go.
Hey, well done. As we say in Ireland, bullabus, well done.
Bullabus, is it bullabus?
Yeah.
Is it?
Bullabus.
Bullabus.
Clap. Here's a clap for you.
I think you're going to gradually teach me a bit of Irish. Is it Gaelic? Is it Gaelic? Is that the
Gaelic? Yeah. Well,
Gaelic.
you know the standard thing for every language, you got to teach the bad words first.
Oh, so that was actually a swear word. Thanks for that.
No,
Jerry.
it wasn't. No.
Okay,
That was a round of applause. Bullabus, round of applause.
Okay, all right. Thank goodness for that.
No, I'm not that bad.
John Hamilton said, "Give it a tap like in the movies."
That's it. As we were running out of fuel, tap the fuel gauge and you get some more. You know.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go in outside view just for a little bit and just see what we're looking at.
Going through some bit of cloud here. Once we get down off the coast, we'll descend. We just take a nice long. Actually, we're visual from here on in. Down descent to altitude 7,000 feet.
Altitude 7,000.
I just want to make sure my one is continuing to play ball here. Just a low descent. Yes, it is. That's brilliant.
We're back in action, and look at this,
we
Jamaica.
Are back in action.
I mean, this feeling of coming into your final approach into a destination, it must never get boring. You know, that sort of feeling of descending where you can see the ground and you know you're gonna, it's just fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just surprised that we found the airport. I'm joking. So we're passing 10,000 feet, so 10 down. Lights need to come out.
Okay.
We'll give the cabin crew 2 dings on the bell. And activate the approach phase in the box.
Seatbelt signs on and activate the approach phase.
Exactly. I'd say you want to select 250 knots there just to keep the speed up.
Okay, 250.
Yeah, anywhere above there, yeah. It's just to keep the speed up. And clear to descend to 5,000 feet.
Clear to descend 5,000. Those there mountains are quite close, aren't they?
They are indeed, yeah. I'm keeping an eye on them at the moment. So, current, just freeze my track IR there. So, I'm looking at the chart, and according to the chart, there is those mountains there. Let me just get the arrival plate in. And those mountains there, the highest point is 7,370, and we are visual, so I don't mind coming down. If you were in IMC conditions, we wouldn't come down below 9,500 feet until we are literally past that point on the chart, you know.
Okay, that makes sense.
But once you're visual, you know.
Yeah.
That's the highest point there on the chart, just out to my left-hand side. My right-hand side, my apologies.
Oh, wow. It's incredible views. Incredible.
You can put the jerry cam on there for a second.
Yeah, the jerry cam. Yeah, the jerry cam is on.
Okay, so there's the front.
Kringo Man said, let's see this butter.
The pressure is on. Oh, look at that.
Pogmo Fire.
I don't think that's a name.
Oh dear. Okay.
Hold on, let me just double check. Yeah.
I'm glad I pronounced that wrong then, yeah? Or did I not?
Where's that? I didn't see it.
John Hamilton over on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something to do with the behind, you know.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm kissing it.
John found that amusing over on YouTube there. Jonathan Meenan has laughed about that. I'm guessing John's from Ireland.
In fairness, John caught you out there. You read it, I didn't.
It's acceptable because I haven't got a clue what it is, so I can say
exactly.
what I want. Yeah. And I probably said it wrong, anyway, so don't worry about it.
Well, I understood and I didn't read it, so
right.
I got it.
Oh, blimey.
No, you're in good shape there.
Hello, your route, please. So we've come from Nassau in Bahamas to Jamaica.
Okay, descend altitude 3,000 feet. Reduce
3,000
speed
feet.
220 knots.
220 knots.
And go direct to Wasat.
And direct
to Wasat. Perfect.
Okay. I think you were waiting for me to not activate the managed heading, which I still haven't done actually. I just realised.
Yeah, you got to get into nav. Yeah,
my word. That was me being proud as punch that I'd committed to that. So, shall I do managed speed now or 230 knots? Okay.
Yes, yeah, you can do managed speed now.
Okay. So there was me thinking, oh yes, I've got this. I
nailed it.
I've got the heading.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to my cam now and let's go and have a look at the outside. Fantastic. And back in the flight deck, we've got a nice
the big sun reflection, isn't it? That's super.
And look at it hitting back off the dash. Look at that.
Off the glare shield, exactly. Same here on my side.
Incredible.
They really have thought of everything.
Go to the Jerry cam and have a look at his side as well.
Yeah, let's have a little look out there. Look at that water.
The sun's so bright.
Oh wow.
Incredible.
It certainly is.
So back to my side of things now.
Sure.
Okay, so wow, this is really interesting scenery. The mountains and
It is.
I mean,
yeah.
Jamaica looks incredible. So
It does indeed.
RFS and IF Pilot 787. Dano, you want to sit with another pilot, and you can both fly. How do you do that? So it's something called shared. It's a shared cockpit, but it's something called Your Controls that allows us to do this. But it's certainly not perfect. But we've managed to sort of master the fine art of it so far. There's got little bits and bobs that you have to make sure you have to do in sync. Yeah, it's crazy. Thanks for the likes and shares on TikTok, by the way. I do appreciate it. And we should be taking a left turn soon, shouldn't we? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I just want to see, there's a little bit of a high ridge in front of us here, so just keep an eye out for that in case you need to just disconnect and go up a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Ideally, we would have been approaching that out over the sea.
Okay.
For some reason or other, we didn't there, you know?
How strange, eh?
Yeah, so you may just need to disconnect and just
scoot around, do a visual.
Yeah, it'll be a
approach,
visual
yeah.
then of that. I think we're all right with this moment in time anyway.
All right.
I'll just keep an eye on it with the rad alt.
Wilco has said stunning. How's it going? It's going really well, thanks on Twitch. We're just about to come into Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, and we've come from the Bahamas and the Airbus A320, and it's a first tonight. We've got the Jerry Cam on stream, and I've just switched over to the Jerry Cam now, and you can see that you got it from his perspective. First officer there, he's sat in the right seat, I'm sat in the right seat. It's absolutely incredible. Back to my view now. And I think it's a first, isn't it? It's got to be a first.
I think so. We were a bit nervous sort of how do we get this to work properly for everybody, but I think we're after doing it.
It's crazy. What RTX do you have? It looks beautiful. So I have an RTX 3080 Ti, and so does Jerry actually. So
yeah.
So just
okay.
It looks like we're going to scoot around that mountain range.
Yeah,
actually, doesn't
I think
it?
we're good. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
And just before we have we have to sort of concentrate on the landing, I do want to mention the Patreon again. So I'm putting the Patreon memberships there, and you'll be able to see sort of for economy, you've got £2.50. That's a starting membership. We've got 3 people in business class at the moment and 1 in first class at the moment.
I'm just going to give you flaps 1 there.
Flaps 1, 3, 2, 1.
1 flaps 1.
And and each Patreon member gets a different benefit. The main benefit that all of those Patreon members get is a mention at the start of the simulator stream. So you'll be able to sort of see if you replay back the stream what sort of mention you get over on YouTube or Twitch. You can replay it back, but on YouTube probably better. But yeah, if you join and help support the account. Ashley is my brother-in-law, so just ignore him. Rip off, you can fly cheaper. I tell you what, you'll be banned you'll be on the no-fly list for Fly UK if you carry on Ashley Starkey. So yeah, no-fly list. You have those in airlines, don't you, Jerry? You can arrange that.
It can be done.
Put my brother-in-law on the no-fly list.
Done.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Okay, Dan, we might consider flap 2 with selected speed of 170 knots.
Okay, flap 2 and
selected speed of 170. So I'm going to watch this approach here because I don't know whether this is going to work well.
Okay. So
you may have to consider a visual.
We've got the missed approach altitude anyway, 3,000 feet. And let's have a look at the outside view here. Wow. Okay, so how many miles have we got to run? 20 miles we've got to run.
What's your thrust setting there? The engines are going up and up and up.
Okay.
That's it, they're coming back now. That's alright, something just went wrong there.
Okay, so yeah, so
it'll settle back down now.
It seems like the thrust or climb D10 wasn't fully in.
Okay, that'll do it, alright. So Dan, we're 5 nautical miles to go, so we need to be thinking about, we're going to switch over to track FPA.
Okay.
See, track FPA is just above the AP1 button.
AP1 button.
Okay, so you just switch to track FPA. Pre-select 3 3.05 on the FPA. So in other words, it's not the VS anymore. No.
Oh, sorry.
On the right-hand side, it was your VS button. It's now changed to FPA. So minus 3.05. Okay, so 3. Okay, we're go for now. But what we want to do is, so let's first of all select 2,000 feet in the altitude window.
Yep.
And you can descend about now. Start to descend now to 2,000 feet. So that's the first thing. When we get level at 2,000 feet, we'll select the 3.0. We call it 3.0. Okay. And I'll tell you when to select and pull that. And then you should have the runway in sight. Well, not yet, but it's on the way. We're turning in for the final now.
So what's the FPA stand for? Sorry,
flight path angle. So I want to go down on 3 degrees. Look, we have a little ship in the just ahead of us there on the nose. Little ship in the bay.
Okay, I can't see that. You must have a better view than me. Let's go on the jerry cam.
Okay, it's just there. He is there. I just down over your side.
I have to zoom. In.
There we go. Down on your side now. He's gone underneath. Yeah, he's gone underneath. He's gone underneath, unfortunately.
No wonder I couldn't see it. So
he's gone underneath.
Okay, so I've got the runway in sight actually, Jerry. So
then you can forget about the instrument approach. You can do whatever you want from here on.
Okay, well we'll have a visual approach when we get a bit closer.
Okay. I'll tell you roughly where you should be going down at a 3-degree-ish kind of angle. You know, see that point Avril on the approach right in front of you? Avril is the next point.
Yeah, Avril, yeah.
That's where you start descending from 2,000 feet at about, say, 700 feet a minute. And then you'll be laughing.
By the way, Jerry, I think you're going to have to do this because one of the users over on TikTok has said, what does he say? Okay, I'll pay if Dan and Jerry sing duets of popular 80s classics. Oh dear.
Well, we'd actually, everybody be wanting to jump out if that started. Dan is great at the singing, not me. I will drag it down completely.
I don't know. All Irish people can sing, can't they? I mean, look at the boy bands. Look at the boy bands that have come out of Ireland. So don't tell me that you can't sing, Jerry.
It's not about singing. It's about everybody can sing, but it's how badly you can sing.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
No.
You dropped out that you can play the tin whistle, which is always an indication that you've got good vocal cords there.
But not singing. No.
Oh dear.
Dan, you're approximately 6 miles. You want the gear down?
Yeah, gear down.
3, 2, 1. Gear down. Manage the speed.
And can you do the managed speed for us, Jerry,
can.
please?
I'll try. Let me just see. Yeah, it did work.
Okay, managed speed.
Okay, so roughly now, Dan, give yourself 600-700 feet a minute rate of descent and go for it. Okay. I would call 3-2-1 for flap 3, right? So flap 3, 3-2-1, 3, and 3-2-1 flap full, go.
Yeah, flaps full.
And landing check. So the bar reference is Q and H set, the auto thrust is speed, and the ECAM memo is just waiting for that to land, to come up with land no blue. There you go, Dan. Make your excuses. Tell us what.
All right. Autopilot off. I'm actually going to do a visual straight in. Like, we've got no safety net now. We are coming. Ashley Starkey, my brother-in-law, has said you could be the new Jedward. Oh dear.
Danger.
Danger. I mean, that'd be horrendous, wouldn't it? There we go.
Oh yeah.
Should we notify the cabin actually?
We did.
We did.
Please prepare for landing.
Oh yeah.
So we look a little bit high.
Gringo Man says, is it just him, or he wants to be a pilot now after watching you? So Dan, off you go.
Okay, so we're in. I'm taking the auto throttle off as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really truly without a safety net here.
Yeah, you're in good shape there. You're 4 whites there at the moment, so you need to start getting them in. Oh, there's one red. There's one red.
I mean, if Jerry starts screaming, then we know we've got a problem, you know. So
you just didn't see me tightening up my straps here.
Okay, I'm going to bring some speed brakes in a little bit here.
Yeah, good.
1,000.
and bring the nose
Keep
up.
it going down. Keep the nose down. Keep it going down, down, down. 4 whites at the moment. You want to see at least one of them go red.
Yeah, I'm just worried about my descent rate, but
you're okay for the moment.
Okay,
Bring it back to 1,000 feet a minute.
It will start shouting at me. I've had that.
Yeah,
before.
1,000 feet a minute is okay.
Okay,
there you go.
I've got 1 red. There we go. Okay.
Slow the speed brake, 1 red, and you're laughing. Off you go. I've seen you doing this before, so you're all in great shape.
Okay. I need at least 1 new Patreon sign up if I butter this. If I don't, then that's the end of my career.
If you get me down safely, I'll pay for it.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I was waiting on that. Boom, boom.
200.
Okay, looking good. You're stabilized.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Oh my word.
That's okay. That's okay.
That was,
spoilers.
I think that was it. Okay, spoilers.
That's
Reverse
okay.
thrust.
No spoilers. Reverse screen.
I think I was
decelerating.
destined for no Patreon member there.
Okay, and 80 knots. Ah, super.
Not too bad RFS. I don't know.
So
I think it just dropped to the last minute. There we go. Okay. I'll have a look on Jerry's cam and just see it from his side of things.
Oh, this is how things are broken.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
Jerry's neck is on its side. I'm only joking.
Oh dear.
No,
There
that's
we
all
go.
good. So you're clear on the right there, Dan? No aircraft around.
Okay, cleared on the right.
Excellent. Would you like me to start cleaning up for you?
Okay, yeah. So just your cam is on now. Actually, if you want to press F12,
F12. There we go. Yeah.
just get yourself back.
There we go.
You can start cleaning up for us then, Jerry.
Oh, look at the water. Before I look down, look at the water. Well, I've been getting a great view of the water here.
It's absolutely fantastic. Like this is the view. I've just switched over back to my view.
Sure.
Absolutely incredible. Look at that.
Okay, so I'm going to look down now and start cleaning up.
Okay, your cam is on.
Okay, give it a second. Okay, so first thing is first, I'm gonna down the spoilers, which were down, retract the flaps all the way to 0. So flaps are 0. TCAS is going off. We don't need a flight director. I'm going to start the APU. We'll get that going. And that's it.
Okay.
There we go. We're all done.
Okay, we'll bring it back to
Dan Cam.
Dan Cam.
Dan Cam. Outside cam. Okay.
So cool that, eh?
Yeah, it's super. Just absolutely super. Slow and steady.
One cam Dan.
One cam Dan.
Oh dear. Okay, so actually I just
Yeah, where do we park
here.
Where do we park? We never even looked that up where we're gonna park.
Okay, so I, there's some gates over on the right.
Oh, there is.
here.
There is. Yeah. Take your pick.
We'll take the one without the car in the way. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So I'll just give you the bleed, the AP bleed, and the lights. And the brake fans. they're on.
Don't know about you, but that gate looks awfully over.
Doesn't it? It does.
So I'm just going to
agree.
bring it over a little bit to the right and pretend we had a marshal here.
Yeah. Look, he's actually marshalling it incorrectly. Look, he's marshalling correctly.
I don't know whether it's not on my cam, but we'll go on Jerry's cam.
I can actually see the marshalling. Yeah.
Okay, Jerry's cam has got the marshal there, so we'll have a look.
There he is up there.
Look at that.
I think you're good. I think you're good. The last thing you want is to crash the desktop.
Okay, so parking brake on, Jerry.
Yes.
And we'll take the Jerry cam off and have a look at the outside here. Parking brake on, throttle's idle, and APU is on with the APU bleed, etc. So we can actually turn our engines off. Engine 2 off.
Off.
Engine 1 off.
And off. Oh.
And we can bring the gate over. Hopefully it will allow us to do that.
Oh dear. And beacon is off. Seatbelt sign is now off. There you go.
Okay, so we will probably hear some people boarding and all the rest of it, using toilets,
screaming.
We're
not that bad. We're not that bad.
It's crazy. Marshall needs to be sacked, Matthew Allen. So Matthew's a business class Patreon member over on there, and I just want to shout out again to the Patreons that were on board. Thank you for the subscription, Richie Murphy. Thanks ever so much. We've got 21 people watching over on YouTube as well. I do appreciate it. So we'll have a look on the outside shot there. So the gate is firmly in place, and we're at Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, and the engines are off, and it's looking great at the minute. So I just want to sort of go through and go back to our Patreon members, and just want to confirm who those are. So let me go back and have a look at our Patreon. So in economy, we don't have anybody in economy at the moment. So for those that want to support the economy, that's starting at a pretty cheap intro rate, and you do get the benefit of being mentioned on the stream, just like this at the start, at least at the start, and obviously get extra content on the Patreon, direct messages as well if you need any questions. In business class, we have Living History UK, the aviation guy, and Matthew Allen, who joined on their YouTube this evening as well, and we had Christian as well join us on the YouTube side. I do appreciate it. And we in first class we have Christian, and on his own, there's another 11 seats available in first class. They're all limited, and obviously the higher you go, the more benefits you get as a Patreon member. But I do appreciate everybody that's obviously joined the Patreon. There's four of you on there. John has said, "Do you earn air miles?" I don't know. Maybe that could be brought in. The longer you subscribe, we could do something there. That'd be quite fun, wouldn't it? But yeah, and for those that are interested in joining, you can do so by going to patreon.com/flyuk and join the Patreon. So, like I say, that is the main benefit, really. You get mentioned at the start of the stream, but the other benefit is you get behind the scenes sort of access to sort of content, etc. Thank you. Hi Gringo over on YouTube. Thanks for joining. Yeah. So there we go. So that concludes the flight today, and I appreciate everyone that's actually took the time to watch the stream. Thanks Jerry as well, because he gives his time for free to come on here. I just want to mention that if you do want to give Jerry a subscription over on YouTube and on TikTok, I don't know if you've got it open, my stream. I don't know if you want to comment, Jerry, over on my YouTube. And basically, if you go over to my YouTube homepage and scroll to the bottom, you'll see his link to his page, and you can actually go and click over and do that. Hi, thanks, nice trick shooter, I think it is. Thanks for the rose, I appreciate it for gifting. Welcome on board. And like you say, that's the real world pilot A320 who's mentioned there. So Sean74, this is a silly question, but does being a Patreon member mean you sit in the plane during the flight? So you can't talk with us at the moment as a Patreon member on the flight, but you know, the Patreon is basically evolving. It's only a week old, so eventually once the shared cockpit becomes a little bit more stable, and if you have the Thrustmaster control set that I've got, and we could maybe do something for the first class members where they could share a cockpit, or maybe we might bring an additional level up that maybe like sort of first officer class, which will allow you to have that access to all the benefits of first class, but with the ability to have once a month a shared flight deck experience with myself or something like that, or coming board on the jump seat with me and Jerry, and have the ability to talk with us on the flight deck or something like that. But again, you know, these are basically sort of, you know, it's evolving as we go. The main idea of Patreon is a way of you supporting a little bit extra to what everyone else is supporting already by viewing the channel, liking, sharing, gifting on TikTok, like, you know, and sort of subscribing. You know, all those are usually appreciated anyway. It's just that a few people have actually asked for Patrons in the past. It's not been something that I felt the need to sort of set up before, but more and more people are asking for it, so I set it up now, and it's a choice of whether you want that extra benefit or not. And like you say, you get a mention at the start of each stream in the different classes, and plus the behind the scenes sort of content, like, you know, for instance, PC specs in detail, and about my first class medical, what's involved with that at the end of the month. I'm going to. But anyway, yes.
Might even join us for a briefing someday. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
that'd be fantastic. Like I say, these ideas are evolving.
Yeah.
So John has said, "Well done, thanks for saving the flight, Jerry."
No.
I think he has saved the flight. I mean,
I haven't that.
You could have warned me about the sudden drop from sort of 10 to 5 though, and I'd say the firm landing. I mean, that was definitely a firm landing. I blame the hour and a half flight time sitting idle. I think, you know, I just haven't got it in muscle memory yet. So yeah, real world pilot A320 is Jerry's TikTok, and Jerry's link to Jerry's YouTube, John, is over on my YouTube channel. If you go to my YouTube channel and scroll down on my homepage, you'll see the real world pilot A320. You can actually physically click through to there. So that's the easiest way to get to his YouTube channel. Thank you again ever so much for joining the stream, and like I say, welcome to Jamaica, Kingston. Absolutely beautiful place to land at. Yeah, I'm glad you guys could make it. So
Dan,
thanks
I know good bar just down the road here, so we need to do it. Let's go.
Well, thanks ever so much. And do you want to say bye, Jerry, before we...
Guys, thanks a million. Really enjoy having you on and the questions coming through. And I want to actually say thanks to Dan for allowing me to participate in this, because I really enjoyed it.
Well, like I say, I do... you know, like I say, there's thanks all round, because it's almost like turning into a bit of a podcast, this. It's turned into a bit of a podcast with the element of flying, you know, as well, which is it's a good take on it. So thanks again, thanks for the follows, thanks for the shares, thanks for everything, everybody, and we're over and out, and we're going. See you next time.